Kaleidoscope, a weekly public affairs program brought to you in partnership with the Urban League of Greater Cleveland, Kaleidoscope Magazine, and News Channel 5.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the broadcast today, and a good one we have for you, but don't we always have a good one here on Kaleidoscope? Dr. Natalie Joseph is a surgical oncologist at Metro Health Medical Center and assistant professor of surgery at Case Western Reserve University. She's here to talk about guidelines for mammograms and symptoms of breast cancer. Later in the broadcast, Grace Roberts and Ben Holbert will tell us about a leadership retreat hosted by the Consortium of African American Organizations, or CAAO, as it's called. And later on the broadcast after that, the Vice President of the Ashtabula Downtown Development Association, Marty Cephas, and Merchant Coordinator Bob Tucker will talk about the multicultural festival taking place in Ashtabula County on July the 9th. Good morning. This is Kaleidoscope. I'm Leon Bibb, and so we begin. Beginning right now with Dr. Natalie Joseph with the Department of Surgery at the Metro Health Medical Center. Good to have you with us, Doc.
Thank you very much. It's good to be here.
Yeah, you're a specialist in oncology and breast cancer and things like that.
Yes,
We're hearing a lot of talk about breast cancer, and I guess a lot of people out there are wondering, are we making inroads into treating breast cancer or perhaps finding a cure?
Well, I think absolutely. Over the last decade, we've seen a number of big improvements in breast cancer. In general, the incidence is increasing, but we believe that to be because we're doing a better job in screening patients and actually finding breast cancers earlier. And also, we've had a number of improvements in treatment, both from chemo in terms of chemotherapy and surgical management as well. So what we're finding is that patients, even though we find more cancers, people are doing better.
Do we have an idea of what causes breast cancer?
Well, there's no one thing that causes breast cancer. It's really multifactorial. We believe that many things in the environment may contribute to that. One of the main risk factors is just being female and being an older female as well. And then there are a number of risk factors, such as patients who may have genetic mutations, patients who have a family history, for example. Those patients will have a higher risk of developing breast cancer. And then things such other conditions which may be a result of having a long exposure to estrogen, such as women who have started their menstrual cycle early on, who have menopause at a late age, or those who have not had children. So those are risk factors as well.
So some of those risk factors we can avoid if we can. Smoking that kind of thing,
right? Smoking, obesity, those ones certainly are ones that we can avoid. Others certainly we cannot.
When women begin having mammograms, at what age do you recommend that mammograms become part of their routine?
So the recommendations from the American Cancer Society are that women should start routine screening on an annual basis at the age of 40. For women who have a strong family history, or for someone who may be a known mutation carrier for breast cancer, we do advise those patients to start earlier, probably in their 30s or maybe 10 years prior to the earliest age of diagnosis within their family. But in general, the age of 40 and over should have annual mammograms.
Are these part of the guidelines that have been established for mammograms?
Yes, they are.
You're satisfied with those guidelines? Is there more that we can do, I guess, is really my question that I should be asking.
Well, I mean, I think women in general should have a good awareness of their own bodies. We do recommend that women really from their 30s should start doing at least a monthly breast self-examination. Even though that's not as sensitive, what it does do is help women be more aware about their own body, and so that if there are new changes that occur, that they notice them. There was a task force about 2 years ago now that had issued some different guidelines. Actually, they'd issued guidelines saying that we should start screening later, over the age of 50, and also that women only needed to have mammograms every other year. But I think that no major clinical society has supported those. The data was really quite flawed and really not substantial. And I think that if we are to pursue that, it needs to be looked at in more depth. So I think at this point in time, all of the kind of guiding clinical bodies that dictate what's appropriate will say that the age of 40 and an annual mammogram is really the standard recommendation.
We're talking to Dr. Natalie Joseph, a medical doctor, Department of Surgery at Metro Health Medical Center, oncology specialist, breast cancer specialist, certainly. Women examining themselves while they're in the shower, is that the first step?
Yes, that's certainly the first step. Examine themselves in the shower. They can do it when they're laying down. We try to tell people to do it maybe once a month, especially in women who are menstruating. They can do it around their menstrual cycles. And again, really the goal is not that every woman's going to detect their breast cancer, but really it's more just to develop some familiarity with the way that things feel so that you can detect changes early.
We are seeing some instances of breast cancer in men as well. Could you speak a little bit about that? I know Richard Roundtree, the great American actor,
right,
who played Shaft many years ago.
Right.
Richard Roundtree had breast cancer. Speak a little bit about men and breast cancer.
So males have breast cancer. Only about 1% of all breast cancers are in males. Generally speaking, when we do see it in males, it certainly alerts us to look for a genetic influence or familial component to their cancer because it is so uncommon. But it certainly does happen. So if a man presents with a breast lump or breast symptoms, we take that very seriously, and those men can also get mammograms as well. We certainly don't recommend screening men because of the fact that it does occur so infrequently in the male population. Here's
the $64,000 question. Let me ask you this. Are we near a cure, or do you sense that we are near a cure?
You're right, that is a $64 million question. I think that our understanding of some of the contributing factors to breast cancer have become better and better, more improved over the last several years. Many of the treatments that we do now are very directed towards specific targets, whether that's genetic targets or certain receptors within our bodies that help to improve the outcomes for breast cancer. For example, there are treatments that we give that are directed against certain receptors. There are also treatments that we give that are directed, targeted towards certain genes. And so I think what will happen over time, and what we believe will happen over time, is that treatment will become much more individualized and much more specialized because of some of these newer developments that we're making.
Okay. I appreciate you being with us, Dr. Natalie Joseph, who's an oncology specialist at Metro Health Medical Center. By the way, we've got a phone number on the screen. You can get more information from Dr. Joseph or her staff at 778-3578, or you can go to metrohealth.org, metrohealth.org, and get more information. The doctor is in the house. We all feel better because you're here, Doc.
Thank you very much.
Okay, Dr. Natalie Joseph with the Department of Surgery at Metro Health Medical Center. Thank you so much for being on the broadcast. I'm going to take a break. We'll be right back. This is Kaleidoscope. More after these words, especially for you. You're in touch with Kaleidoscope. Glad to have you with us, as always. The Consortium of African American Organizations, or CAAO, as it is called, is the largest economic development support network in Northeast Ohio. The organization will host its annual leadership retreat in mid-August. Ben Holbert and Grace Roberts are here to tell us a little bit more about it. Really not mid-August, it's August the 6th.
August,
that's early August. That's still early August. Good to have you with us, Grace.
Right.
You're donor services for the Consortium of African American Organizations, and Ben Holbert is special projects coordinator or director or whatever.
Yeah,
good to have you.
They threw us in here to help put this help put the program together. It's going to be outstanding.
First off, tell us about the mission of CAAO. What's the overall mission of CAAO?
Well, what CAAO tries to do is help businesses and organizations succeed. And in this business environment right now, you need a coach. You need somebody to assist you, to help you to grow your business. And that's what CAAO's been doing for the last 10 years. And you're probably well aware of Connie Atkins, who's the executive director. But Connie, along with several other people, help assist businesses where they may have some challenges here and there, or try to navigate through different spots, or even introduce them through networking programs to be able to be better businesses.
And Grace, I know you work with donor services. Tell me a little bit about that.
What it is, we have entrepreneurs that are members of CAAO, as well as member organizations. And we put the organizations in contact with the entrepreneurs, whatever their goods or services or what their area they specialize in. And we put them in contact with the larger organizations where they may not necessarily or normally have that contact with these organizations. So we're kind of like the conduit, would you say, the liaison between the two.
You're kind of like the matchmaker.
I think so.
Get this one over here, and we get them together.
Exactly.
I know you're really here to talk about this leadership retreat, which intrigues me. Tell me about this leadership retreat, which you've got so slated for August the 6th?
We've got a lot of great things planned. We have leaders in the community coming together. It's for a management leadership retreat. We have Dr. Ellen Burtz Cooper of image training and consulting, and she is working diligently with attorney Patrice Blakemore of Blakemore Coaching, and they're putting together our design, our contact, and the processes for the event. So we're looking forward to some great things. It's going to be highly interactive. And I think they'll take a lot of information, a lot of things away from this event.
Ben, what's going to happen at the event? What are people going to walk away with once they leave?
Well, to give you an idea of what we did last year, because I was the moderator for the program last year, but you have these individuals who have been involved in business, and they share the success stories, but it's also an opportunity for them to tell you about how to navigate through different issues that may arise for a business leader. Anything from financing, acquiring loans, where would be a good place to operate my business. We also have a segment in there where it is a discussion where the moderator will talk to different people. Like last year, we had Marsha Maccabee was on the panel, Peter Lawson-Jones, former commissioner of Cuyahoga County, and they shared information about how these people might be able to, you know, as I mentioned before, navigate through difficult situations. So it's an energetic and high-spirited discussion and workshop.
This is going to be August the 6th. What day of the week is that?
That's Saturday. Saturday morning.
At the Manor Center Complex, which is at 24,111. That's 24111.
Exactly.
Rockwell Drive, Euclid Avenue. It used to be called the Manor Party Center, right off Babbitt Road. If memory serves me correct. The Manor Center. Now, what's it going to cost, Grace, for people to go to this event Saturday, August the 6th, and what time does it start? What's it cost?
It starts at 8 a.m. It's from 8 to 3:30. And of course, we've got to say a special thank you for our sponsors, because usually it's about retail about $500. For corporate registrants, it's $80. Individuals, $60. For CAAO's best members, it's $30. And members of our Stride program, it's free.
It's free for those if you're already in the Stride program.
Yes, indeed. And also, we've got to say thank you, special thank you to our sponsors. We couldn't do it without them. Forest City Enterprises, the Ohio Lottery, Kaiser Permanente, and PNC.
Exactly.
So when people come to this big event, which is Saturday, August the 6th, at the Manor Center Complex, that's in Euclid at 24111 Rockwell Drive in Euclid, the Manor Center Complex, they will learn to be better business leaders. That's the goal.
Indeed.
That's the goal.
That's what CAAO does.
And it's networking too, Leon, because the people who are going to be in that room, there may be an opportunity for them to network and find out about an opportunity, to find out how they do business better. So it's really, really important that somebody who's a budding entrepreneur, somebody who's already successful, who might be able to lift back and help someone else.
Can people register online?
Yes,
Can they go to KAAO.net?
Yes.
We've got the phone number there, 432-9481. They can also make a phone call, and you can get them hooked up that way. Or CAAO.net. KAAO.net. CAAO, which is the Consortium of African American Organizations. Leave us with a final thought, 15 seconds, on why this is important.
You know what? If you want to brand your business, if you want to grow your business, CAAO is here for the community, and not just the community in Cleveland, but as a whole, not just Cleveland, Ohio, but all across the U.S., actually.
That's exactly right.
Ben, you'd agree with that?
I would agree with that, Leon. And this is, CAAO's been doing this for 10 years, and they're going into the 11th year, and there's great things coming. So be there.
Or be square. Be there or be square. I don't know where that came from. We used to say that 100 years ago. Saturday, August the 6th at the Manor Center Complex, 24,111 Rockwell Drive in Euclid. And there's the phone number on the screen there, 432-9481 in the 216 area code, KAAO.net. And you can get there. Thank you for being on the broadcast. Grace Roberts and Ben Holbert, both with CAAO.
Thank you.
Good to see you both. I'm going to take a break. We'll be right back in just a moment. Marty Cephas and Bob Tucker from Ashtabula County talking about a big festival that's going on in Ashtabula after these words, especially for you. Welcome back to Kaleidoscope. Glad to have you with us today. The Ashtabula Downtown Development Association hosts a multicultural festival on Saturday, July the 9th. Association Vice President Marty Cephas and Merchant Coordinator Bob Tucker are here to explain what visitors can expect at this big event on Saturday, July the 9th in Ashtabula. Good to have you with us, Marty.
Thank you.
Marty
Thank
Cephas
you.
and Bob Tucker. Tell me about this multicultural festival. Well, first off, tell me about the mission of the Ashtabula Downtown Development Association.
Yes, absolutely. Ashtabula Downtown Development Association's mission is to enhance the quality of the life of the residents in downtown, and the festival grew out of that mission. We're trying to rejuvenate and revive the downtown area in Ashtabula.
And get people into downtown Ashtabula?
Exactly.
Yeah. Bob Tucker, you're the merchant coordinator now.
I am.
What do you coordinate now? What are you getting the merchants involved in this?
Yes, the idea is to promote downtown Ashtabula as well as the multicultural event. And what we're doing is, my job is to coordinate all of the vendors with the merchants so that no one is left out and everyone is included, which is what the whole purpose of the multicultural event is to do, is to include everyone.
And that's what we're talking about, diversity and everybody being involved in it. Yeah, you told me before we began taping this broadcast, Marty, that you've got a big parade which begins at 11 o'clock in the morning on Saturday, July 9th. Who can be in this parade?
Everyone can be in the parade, and the only thing you have to do is either have ethnic clothing, costume, or an ethnic flag. We're encouraging people to come down with their families and just celebrate who they are, and where they come from, because change begins from within us, and that's why we actually have this festival going on.
Bob, what was the inspiration for the multicultural festival?
The initial inspiration was to celebrate our different cultures in Ashtabula as well as Northeast Ohio. Ashtabula is really a wonderful place. It has many good things going on in Ashtabula. So what we'd like to do is to promote Ashtabula, promote diversity, to promote our strengths. We have some of the things that Ashtabula is doing aside from this is we have the nation's longest covered bridge. We're currently building the nation's shortest covered bridge, and it's under construction right now. Absolutely.
Are they going to be on the same road?
No, they're not.
The longest covered bridge and the shortest covered bridge. Well,
in the nation is in Ohio, Ashtabula County.
That sounds like a story I should be doing. I think we're going to find a way to do that story.
That'd be great.
Let's talk a little bit about that later on. But this is all going to happen at Memorial Park and Main Avenue.
Yes.
If you can find your way
to downtown Ashtabula, then yes, absolutely. You're there.
You're there.
The street is closed. It's a very unique street festival with vendors and different ethnic exhibits, and we have 3 stages of entertainment. So.
And Bob, you're involved with the merchants. You're with you were telling me with Howard Hanna Real Estate Services, correct?
Yes, I manage the Howard Hanna office in Ashtabula.
Why did your company want to be involved in this?
Ashtabula, Howard Hanna's business model is hometown, Main Street, USA. And what better Main Street, USA than Ashtabula, downtown? We find that not only fits the business model for Howard Hanna and for what Howard Hanna promotes, it also fits the business motto for the Midwest, with the values that Midwest. So again, with the multicultural event, that fits right in there. It's all part of the same pie. Indeed. So we're very happy to cross-promote each one of those agendas.
Indeed. We're a nonprofit, Leon, so it really takes partnership and synergy to make things like this happen in Ashtabula.
And revitalize the downtown area, as every city in most cities in America probably trying to revitalize the downtown area, certainly in this part of the country. And if you can get people in the downtown Ashtabula, then they will use the services of the various merchants and all of the other, and creates an energy and a synergy downtown. So once you can get them to the town square, wherever the town square is, a lot of things will happen.
That's absolutely true. And the corporate structure, they've really stepped up to the plate. Huntington Bank is one of our platinum sponsors, as well as the Star Beacon newspaper is one of our platinum sponsors. We do have a host of other sponsors, but they've really made it possible for us to host something like this event to benefit not just Ashtabula, but 5-6 counties around.
The parade is going to be beginning at 11 o'clock in the morning. The event itself runs really from parade time until 9 o'clock in the evening. It's going to be all day long till the sun sets.
Till the sun sets.
And it will be a sunny day.
Yes, it will. It'll be a beautiful day.
Pray for that. Pray for that. Saturday, July the 9th in downtown Ashtabula. If you get to downtown Ashtabula,
please come.
As Marty Cephas says, if you get there, you're there. Okay. Bob Tucker, thank you so much, and thank all the other merchants for being involved in this as well. All the merchants.
Thank you for having us on your show.
Ashtabula Downtown Development Association. 440-992-3700 is its telephone number, as you see at the bottom of the screen, or you can go to downtownashtabula.com to get more information on everything we're talking about. Marty Cephas, Bob Tucker.
Thank you.
Good luck. See you Saturday, July 9th, downtown Ashtabula. When you get there, you'll know you're there. I'll take a break. Marsha Maccabee of the Urban League is up next. One of our partners on the broadcast is the Urban League of Greater Cleveland. Its president and CEO, Marsha Maccabee, my good friend, I should add, is also here today, as always, with a word of wisdom.
And my good friend as well. Good to be here today, Leon. I wanted to share something with you. I recently had the opportunity to go to Chicago and to visit the merchandising mart that is run by MMPI. The importance of that is that's the same organization that's developing our medical mart here in Cleveland. So what I had the opportunity to see there, myself and some people from the President's Council went, and the Minority Business Solutions, we had a great time. We were able to meet Chris Kennedy, of the Kennedy family, who is the owner of MMPI. And what we saw there was how there's a great integration of showrooms that are permanent and temporary showrooms that could be integrated when shows come into town. So we got a chance to really see firsthand exactly how our medical mart can operate, and I'll tell you, I am really excited about the opportunities that that's going to bring to Cleveland.
So when hospitals come to town for conventions or something, medical people, they'll get a chance to see all of the kinds of equipment they need for their hospitals in one location.
Absolutely.
One-stop shopping in Cleveland.
Absolutely. And then the other real advantage that we have is being connected right there to the convention center, which also is going to be renovated. So the convergence of those two opportunities are really going to help to make us a destination city.
Do you get the feeling we are on our way growing now?
I do.
You get that feeling? You and I grew up in this town.
I do.
And we have turned a corner, haven't we?
We certainly have, and I'm very excited about the possibilities.
Okay. Well, we look forward to all of that.
Absolutely.
Marsha Maccabee says we're going to be okay.
We're going to be okay.
Sounds like you might be running for office, but then again, maybe not.
I've already got my office.
You certainly do. Marsha Maccabee of the Urban League. I'm Leon Good. Be well.
Kaleidoscope, a weekly public affairs program brought to you in partnership with the Urban League of Greater Cleveland, Kaleidoscope Magazine, and News Channel 5.